Hello and welcome to my sunny knitting corner on this beautiful spring day. It's still spring. We're not quite in June yet. It's still spring. My name is Stacey and this is the Heartmoor podcast, and it's mainly a podcast about knitting, maybe some crochet sometimes, bits and bobs, you know, if I do anything else. I still feel quite out of practice. Someone sent me a message. I'm just going to flick it off the screen, or it's going to sit there the whole time and really annoy me. Hang on. Gone. So you might be a bit surprised to see me back. The last one I did of these was at Easter. So this is, when was that? 6, 7, 8, maybe 7 weeks ago. So this is quite soon for me. But I thought if I could try and keep on top of it, then it might be a little bit shorter and I won't have quite so many things to show you. My name is Stacey and I live down in Devon in the southwest of England. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Heartmoor. I'll put links in the down bar below. I do use Instagram and I'm also sort of quite active on Ravelry. I put all my projects and things on there, so I do go on there quite regularly. That's kind of it really. It's what day is it today? It's the Saturday the 27th of May, so we're nearly in summer. It's half term here in England, and my husband has taken my 3 beautiful daughters away on scout camp for the weekend. So I have 3 whole nights at home on my own. Absolutely amazing. I'm not wearing any knitting because it is too damn hot, but I do have some stuff to show you, and I'll put it on and take it straight back off again because it's too hot. So today I'm looking, my stuff's here, so apologies for the side head. I have, what have I got today? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got 5 finished objects, but I've only got 2 to show you because 3 have already been gifted. And only a couple of works in progress really. It's been, I don't know if it's the temperature or just work's been really busy. My head hasn't been at sort of starting anything complicated. So I've only really got a few socks and a blanket to show you for works in progress, but I will do that later. This podcast sort of follows the usual format, show you what I finished, what I'm working on, maybe plans for the future. I've not got any acquisitions today. I'm trying to be quite good and working through my stash because we're also saving up to pay for holidays later in this year and next year. So got to be super good with the yarn purchases. Right, let's get started. First of all, I'll go through the 3 things that I haven't got. I've got notes and I'll insert photos. I've got photos of all of them. But I've got my window open because it's hot, so apologies for the noise. The Sainsbury's lorry has just pulled up. I've got notes and I've got pictures of everything that I've gifted, so I'll just talk you through those. So first of all is I started some socks for my husband, which you would have seen if you watched the last podcast, and they are finished. Here he is wearing them. I don't know where I'm going to put the photo. I always put my finger up and I don't know where I'm going to put the photo. Anyway, I'll insert a picture of him wearing them. He was very pleased. They were in a Regia 4-ply yarn. I can't remember the colourway because I haven't got the label. But what did I do? So I knitted them on 2.5mm needles. They were fingering yarn. I always use DPNs for all my socks. I just can't get on with Magic Loop. And I've not tried small circular for socks, mainly because I like, when I knit on, I'll show you later on one of my whips, when I knit on a DPN, I don't need to use markers because the end of my needles are exactly where all the bits need to be. That will only make sense if you knit socks. So I just like to knit on DPNs, and I've gotten the flow of it now and I know how it works. And I cast on 72 stitches for him. He has quite large feet. He's a size 10/10.5 UK size. So altogether I used 83 grams. And I think I literally, one sock is 3 rows shorter on the toe than the other one. I think I must have already used some of that ball of yarn for something else, because there was literally only like 84 grams of yarn in the ball. So his socks that were 83 grams literally used every spare bit that I had. So they are finished. My daughter's teacher is just gone on maternity leave yesterday, so she'd been off sick for a couple of weeks, unfortunately, with baby. But I was planning to knit her a couple of little bits as a sort of maternity present. And she did pop into school on the last day, which was lovely. So my daughter was able to give her the present, and she said they were lovely. So first up is a little baby hat, and again I'll insert a picture. And this is the basic beanie by Emily Bolduan, B-O-L-D-U-A-N. I'll put all the details below. I knitted the size 0 to 3 months because I know babies like they tend to wear hats now straight away, don't they? Even if the weather's warm, they always put a hat on a baby in hospital to keep them warm. So I thought if I knit it for the 0 to 3, it'll get some use. I use 4mm needles. The yarn, oh, there's a fly, sorry. The yarn I used is Rainbow Fusions in peach, and it was an 80% superwash. I've got hairs coming out now as well. It was an 80% superwash merino, 20% bamboo, really soft. Yeah, really gorgeously soft. It took about 20 grams of yarn for this hat, and I knitted it in under 2 hours. It was tiny, teeny tiny. Let's wait for the motorbike to disappear. Yeah, I knitted it in under 2 hours, so that was a really quick knit and really enjoyable. So I think I might knit a few more of those when if I know anybody else that's having a baby. And the other finished object, which I gifted her, I'd made the Flax Light by Tincan Knits, and there should be a picture coming on screen. I omitted, so the Flax Light pattern, I don't know if it's free or not actually, but it has a garter panel down the arms, and I just omitted that. A little baby doesn't really need that. They just, sorry, my husband's just texted me and I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, go on. Track, focus. What was I talking about? Panels. A little baby doesn't really care about stuff like that. It's not going to wear it long enough, and for me having to knit pearl, I couldn't be bothered. So basically it's just a basic the Flax Light without the garter panel. I used 3.5mm needles, and the yarn is I can't remember the colour because I couldn't find the tag for it, but it was the Merino Singles 100% superwash by Zakami yarns. And again, that was really nice and soft, and it's this beautiful sort of, she doesn't know the sex of the gender of the baby, so I did the hat in orange, and I've done the jumper in like this lovely greeny colour it is, so it can be worn either way. And I knitted that in the 3 to 6 month because I thought she'd get more use of that in the winter, and hopefully it will fit baby, and hopefully she'll take some photos of baby wearing it, or bring it into school one day with baby wearing it for the kids to see. So yeah, hopefully she'll get some use out of that. So that was all the finished objects that I don't have. Whizzed through those, haven't I? I've got 2 others to talk about. So one is a project you've seen, and one is a project you haven't. So of all those finished objects, you've only seen one of them anyway. Right, so let's move on to this one. I'm going to stretch over and get it. Oh, so this is, I love this. It's just come off the blocking mats, literally. So it's been out drying in this lovely warm weather we're having. This is the Lakes Pullover by Ozetta. And here it is. Oh, isn't she pretty? I love it. This is the Lakes Pullover by Ozetta. And the yarn I've used is Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the cream colourway. I've still got a few ends left in, but I kind of like to, they're all woven in, but I don't like to cut these ones off because I just think if it stretches and things over time, and it just got flexibility, and no one can see it once it's on. And then I know what's the back and what's the front, so they're in anyway. Yeah, heavy Knitting for Olive, heavy merino in cream, and I love this yarn. I will definitely be buying it again. It's the first time I've knitted with Knitting for Olive, and I really loved it. This sweater, so I knitted the, find my notes, I'm going to put them over there. I knitted the 4th size using 5mm needles. I used 9 full skeins of the heavy merino and about 4 grams of another. So altogether it's about this weighs 454 grams. So I've got almost 3 full skeins left. So I'm either going to use that in colour work or I want a ribbed beanie. Yeah, can't decide. So, but I've got 3 skeins left of that. So this sweater was an absolute delight to knit. It's a saddle shoulder. I'll put it on in a minute, but I'll just talk you through it. It's a saddle shoulder, so you can see sort of on the top, that sort of, you can't see at all because that's a really terrible angle. Anyway, you can see it's like a saddle shoulder. That's the same on the front and the back. And then big long ribbing on the sleeves. Nice long ribbing on the bottom. It's got lovely drape. It's the folded over neckline. I did make one mistake, so you can see I'll always be able to tell the front and the back. Obviously it's got short rows, so it's quite obvious. So you can see the front, which is this really, you know, I think I've done all right picking up my stitches, because you have to pick up along the saddle, and you pick up obviously under the collar, pick all that up. But on the back, I accidentally, when I was doing the short rows, I forgot to purl on one of my short rows, and I knitted it instead. So I've got this like little purl ridge on the back. But I don't mind it, because I know it's the back, and it's almost like it's a little feature of the back now. So you've got like, where it goes across just under the collar, it's like this little purl bump ridge. So garter ridge, whatever. I don't mind it. It separates the front from the back and no one can tell. I'm going to put it on. The blocking really evened out the stitches. I mean, I'm my gauge is quite sort of steady as it is, but the blocking process really helped to sort that out. It's lovely. Let me see if I can get up on my knees and show you. You can't see a thing, can you? I'm just going to push you back a bit. Bye. Okay, and sit forward. Let's kneel up. There we go. You can see it a bit better now. So here it is. It's got really good amount of positive ease. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a lovely length. This is like my perfect sort of perfect length. Perfect sort of, just sort of hits my hip, top of my hip bones, which is what I like. Yeah, it's really nice. But I don't think a saddle shoulder suits me, because obviously the arm sort of starts down here. I don't know if that style suits me. I quite like my shoulders to start up there. But it's so comfy cozy. It's going to be amazing. Hang on, let me come back down and bring you in a bit more. It's going to be lovely in winter. I just wanted a really cozy cream jumper to shove on with a pair of jeans when we go down to the beach in the evenings, or we're sat in the garden on a lovely sort of summer's evening, and I can just sort of cozy up. You can see, I think you can see the blue t-shirt through it. So, but that's because can you? Well, maybe not. I don't know. And the collar's really nice. It's got a little bit of width to it. It's not sort of too high up. It sits really nicely. You can see the saddle shoulder. There it is, the front and the back, and it just goes sort of seamlessly down into the arm, which is really lovely. So yeah, super happy with that. I'm going to take it off because it's really hot. Ooh. Oh, I'm covered in fluff. Yeah, no issues, no problems knitting it. It's a really easy pattern to follow, and like I say, really enjoyable. I just need to get some photos of this now, and I can pop this in my knit drawer ready for, well, either a cold summer evening or ready for autumn and winter. Let's bring you back in a bit. Hello. Not too close. Don't want to be too close. So yeah, really happy with that. I really love this yarn. I will definitely knit with it again. I'd like to try the normal merino, the sort of fingering version as well, fingering weight version. And their silk and their sort of mohair, but for a DK, this is so beautiful. So yeah, the remains of this are either going to be a ribbed beanie, or in colour work in another project that I've got on my mind, ready to start sort of in the autumn. But that is my finished Flax pullover. Okay, last finished object. I'm just gonna have a drink because it's so hot. Excuse me. Only ever drink weak squash. That's just all I drink. I don't drink hot drinks. Maybe a hot chocolate in the winter, but I don't really like tea or coffee. So yeah, squash is me all the way. I hope you've got something nice today. I don't know, what's your weather like? Let me know. Is it hot, or are you... I mean, when I say hot, I think we're about sort of 18, 20 degrees. So for, you know, for us, that's really nice. It's perfect temperature. It's a cardigan in the shade, but you know, you can get a tan in the sun type weather. This is like my perfect. I do not like it when it gets much hotter than this. Right, my next finished object was a test knit. I'm just going to grab it. So this was a test knit for Jo Herriot, who is part of Twin Set and Pearl. They're on Instagram, but they also have a lovely little podcast. If you want to nip over and sort of go and watch them as well. Not right now, you know, finish this first, then go over and see Twin Set and Pearl. And so basically, as a sort of design, they're twins, but as a designer duo, Rachel sort of designs lots and lots of socks. They've got some amazing sock patterns, and some sort of, she's done some sweaters and jumpers, and Jo tends to design the shawls and cowls and things like that. And this was a test knit, and it's called the Cecil shawl. It's due for release on Thursday. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I'm counting. Thursday, the 1st of June. And it is stunning. So here is mine. Just going to hold it up. It's huge, so I've dropped something. Hang on. It's quite large. So all the way. I'll put it on. I'll put it on in a minute. Actually, I'll talk about it first. It's a crescent shawl, shallow crescent, but it is a crescent. And you knit from one end right the way through to the other end. So at its widest, it's only, you know, that. It's not, you haven't got many stitches on the needles at any one time. And it's really cleverly knitted. I don't want to give too much away because obviously it's a paid pattern, but it's 4-ply, and then you hold various shades of mohair. So the pattern asks for 3 different types of mohair. So 3 different colours, 3 colours of mohair, which you just sort of drop off and pick up in order to create these sort of patches along the shawl. So the yarns I've used, so the base yarn I used is a woolly knit cone. I can't remember exactly what colour it's in. It's like a very pale grey, dark oatmeal-y sort of colour. So that was my base colour. Then this bright pop of pink mohair. This pink mohair is Beehive Yarns, and this is left over from my kids' Oslo hat that I made. The purple mohair, let's find a patch with bigger purple on, there we go. This purple mohair is Drops. It's a dark purple. Again, I haven't got the tags with me, so I can't remember the colours, but it's a dark purple in Drops mohair, and Drops Kid Silk. And that was left over from my No Frills. As you can see, it's the way they sort of like, when they interact with each other, when the colours play with each other. It's so beautiful to see all the different, yeah, colour play. And this mohair was from Zakami Yarns. I can't remember the colour. I think it was a one of a kind colourway. It wasn't labelled, but really, really beautiful. And I'll put it on. Again, it's quite warm, but I'm going to get a fluff all over this t-shirt. I would generally wear this like this. So wrap it all the way around. Pull it down a bit. Oh, hang on, I'm going everywhere. I'm trying to use you as a mirror. Wrap it down, and then you've got like these beautiful panels that would just, you can tie in a knot or you can leave them hanging. And you can just, it's all the different colours and the way they play together. It's so cleverly designed. It really is beautiful. I quite like to wear it also sort of, so you've got like a shorter bit here, and then you've got like this long bit that just sort of hangs all the way down, so you can really see how the colours play. It's beautiful, and because it's mohair, you know, it's warm as well. Really love knitting this. It was a nice little test knit group, and yeah, there were a few little issues with it as we went along, but you know, obviously that's with most test knits, there's always little bits and pieces that get picked up. But Jo was really sort of super quick at sorting those out and updating the pattern so that it's ready for you guys when it gets released on the 1st of June. I would definitely recommend this one. There are so many options. I mean, this one obviously uses three colours of mohair, but you could do one for each section. You could use I think someone used 4 and just played about with the placement of the patches. I wanted a bright pot, but some people have used some beautiful reds, greens, more muted colours. It's endless. This would be a really fabulous design if you've got loads of scraps of mohair as well. So where obviously it takes around about, I can't remember the exact dimensions, around about 25 grams of each colour. But if you were to do each panel in a different colour, you could definitely get away with using some mohair scraps with this. And it would be really, really beautiful. So yeah, definitely check that pattern out when it gets released on the 1st of June. I would recommend it. Okay, oh gosh. Right, what have I got now? So, let's put that on the floor. Works in progress. So, as I said, I've only really got socks and a blanket. I haven't had my garment head on lately, although I have got the yarn to start one soon. And you may or may not be aware that Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady does summer sock camp every year, where everyone just sort of gets together and knit socks. And so that started yesterday on the 26th of May. So I have got, yeah, I've got some sock plans, so I can join along with that. So I'll start with this pair. So this pair was cast on a couple of weeks ago, but you can enter works in progresses into summer sock camp to sort of win prizes. Whips are allowed this year. So these are the copper conifer socks. So I'm just getting everything out of my little bag. These are the copper conifer socks by Rachel Herriot from Twin Set and Pearl. I didn't realise I had this pattern. It must have been sat in my library, and I just thought I really fancy a pair of textured. Sorry, I'm just winding up my ball. I really fancied a pair of textured socks, so I just thought I'd go through my Ravelry library and see what I had, and I had these. So yeah, the copper conifer socks. Oh, I didn't bring my sock blockers, so they're going to look pretty rubbish. But anyway, I finished the first sock, so I'll just show you. So this pattern is really beautiful. It's really cleverly done. Can you see? Try and stretch it out a bit. It's a really beautiful pattern. So I'm knitting this with this is a mini that was part of it was part of a full skein. It's not a mini. It's yarn from what was a full skein of beehive yarns, and I used this to knit my other daughter's Oslo hat, and I've done that on the heel, cuff, and little toe. It's such, I don't know why the toe's so little. Looks like a really short toe. I just did a wedge toe. But anyway, so I did a 2x2 rib. Then I knit, I think the pattern calls for 15 repeats. So I did 15 repeats of the pattern on the leg, slip stitch, heel flap and gusset, and then a wedge toe. Yeah, like I say, it's really cleverly done. It's a 4-row repeat, and it's quite memorizable. Yeah, you can memorize it quite easily. After a couple of pattern repeats, I knew exactly what I was doing on each one, and I love it. Really, really love it. It's quite a tight fit. It's not particularly stretchy. It's not overly stretchy, but I quite like a tight sock, so that's fine with me. But if you don't like a tight sock, then maybe go up a needle size. So I knitted these on 2.5s like I normally do for all my socks, 2.5mm DP ends, cast on 64 stitches, and I would either go up a DPN, or I would cast on, I think there's an option for 72. It might be too big, don't know. You might have to play about, you might have to do a little gauge swatch and see what you think about that one. But yeah, it's quite a tight sock, but really, really beautiful. The actual yarn itself, the green, this beautiful like pale green with these pink sort of purple speckles. There's like a really dark speckle there, and what have you. This is a Lay Family Yarns. I've had it in stash for quite a while, so I don't know if it's, let me just sit forward a bit. I don't know if it's in stock anymore, but it's a Lay Family Yarns. I don't think this is focusing very well today. And it's in the colour Angelique, and it's a 75-25, 425 meters per 100 grams. And this is it in the skein. Oh, hang on, second sock is attached. This is the second sock. I've literally just done the cuff and one row of the green. So the second sock is ready to rock and roll. But this is it in the skein. Really, really beautiful. It's that pale green. It's stunning with those little pink splotches on. It's quite a hard colour to get. It's not really minty. I'd just say it's pale, really, really pale green. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And that's the purple. So together I think they're quite a good match. So that is my copper conifer socks. You can tell I'm out of practice. I'm literally throwing stuff everywhere. Okay, let me get those in, out the way, and done up. And this bag is from My Bag of Stuff. She's got an Instagram business. I don't know if she's got a website as well. But yeah, you can basically, it's My Bag of Stuff, and she put stuff is there, and then you can just say anything. So this is my yarn stuff bag, perfect for a sock whip. Hang on, let's put that in as well. Okay, next sock whip. This is just me knitting up a pair of DK socks. I probably loosely follow the pattern from Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady, her DK socks. I think it's a free pattern. I cast on 48 stitches, and I knit these in 3.5 millimeter DPNs. And yeah, I cast these on yesterday for summer sock camp, and I'm already nearly finished the heel. So the yarn, it's this beautiful burgundy, this cream, but I've also got some other colours sort of for the other sock. So the plan is, it was a set, oh God, I can't think straight. So the set I've used, and I can't find the label. Let's see if I can find the label. Hang on. There it is. So if you watched my last podcast, you'll know that I went to a textile mill in Devon, and I think it's like the last working textile mill in Devon, and it's called Cold Harbour Mill, and it's a museum, but they also, sorry, put that in front of my mouth. It's a museum, but they also still make their own yarn, so you can see the whole warehouse had loads of different floors, and it went right the way through from the fleece, the raw fleece coming in, to spinning it, to coning it up, to dyeing it, and then you can buy it in the shop. And I've got some upstairs actually that I'm going to be using for another project, which I'll show you when I use it. But I also bought, they had this, they had these random sock bundles, and it just says craft wool bundle, so not everything was the same weight or the same ply or anything like that, but it was just £10. It's 100% pure wool. I'm pretty sure it's a DK. So this was the main yarn, I think it's an undyed cream colour. So there was I had 83 grams skein of that. And then there were 4 minis. There was this one, which is a 4-ply. So I'm not using it because all the others were DK. I'll put this into my stash. So there was this lovely little 4-ply. Oh, I just dropped it. And then there was these 3 other colours. So there was this beautiful burgundy, which I've used for the cuff of this one. There was this lovely sort of burgundy and white striped one. And there's this sort of, what do you want to call it? Dark peach, light red, striped, you know, candy cane type striped colourway. And my plan is, so I've used all of this mini on this one. So I did 20 rows of ribbing. Then I knit 3, I used it until the mini used up. So I've used 3 rounds of stocking stitch on the sock before I moved into the cream. The heel is also going to be in the cream, and the toe is going to be in, well, I don't know actually, one of these colours. Oh, where's it gone? The toe's going to be in one of these colours. And then for the other sock, I've got another 2 of these. So the heel will be in one and the toe will be in another. The opposite of whatever the toe is on this, I'll do for the heel of the other one, and vice versa. So slightly mismatched socks, but I don't care. They'll be pretty. They're DK, they're quick. They'll be really warm because they're 100% wool. They probably won't last long in terms of, like, I won't wear them in boots and stuff because they've got no nylon in or anything like that. They're not like a high twist or anything. So they probably would go, you know, they might sort of peel or get quite holey quite quick. So they'll just be house socks, but that's fine. I wear socks in the house quite often. And my other work in progress is the blanket. Here we go. Let's get this. Where's the mini? There it is. So I have started the jelly roll blanket, which is a pattern by Kay of the Bakery Bears. You might have seen this around a lot, but basically you knit garter stitch, lots and lots of strips, and then you start a second strip and you attach it to this one as you go, and you just make strips. So I'm on my first strip, and these are just, I've got a big bag here, big bag of minis. Some of these are scraps from projects, and some of these are just minis that I got in swaps. I've got loads of minis, more minis upstairs that aren't sort of balled up. So if I run out, I can go and get some more. But this is everything that's balled up, and lots and lots of delightful colours in there. And this is what I've got so far. So I think I've got this much left of this colour, and then I think I'm gonna finish my first row and start my second. So this is my row so far. I've got minis in here from Lay Family Yarns, Loom Wool. I think this is one from Stripy Cat Yarns. And the others I'm not too sure about. Just keep going up. Nice burgundy, it's a nice rainbow one. I got that in a swap. And the last 2. So my first strip is, oh, it's longer than my wingspan. Yeah. That's my first strip. So I want to make it quite long. I'm not going to bind off the top in case I want to make it longer. I'll just put it on scrap yarn. But I think after this mini, I'll start my second one. And I'm not picking that in any order. I'm just saying to the kids, close your eyes, grab a ball, and that's what goes in next. And that's that. And that's why it's bright and colourful. There's no pattern to it. I don't want to be precious about it. This is just a blanket that's going to go into our scrap bin, our blanket bucket. Or on my bed, or take on holidays, or to the beach. Yeah, just a nice simple blanket. So that is my mindless project at the moment. If ever I don't have the brain power to focus on something that requires focus, I will pick this up. Okay, that's all my finished objects and works in progress. Much shorter this time round. I haven't got as much to show you because it's only been a few weeks. In terms of future plans, so I've got 2 other socks planned for summer sock camp so far. I am also on the 1st of June, me and my friend Cherie from Ollie and Bella are both going to cast on stripy socks from Stash. So some self-striping, I've got lots of self-striping yarn upstairs. I've got to go and pick one, and we're going to cast those on just using our Stash yarn and just knit stripy socks together. Still for summer sock camp, but we just thought we'd knit something together. But the other yarns I've got ready for my summer sock camp is this one here. This is, I've not heard of this one before. It's Mariner Cozy Toes 4-ply sock yarn. And this was a gift from a friend a couple of years ago. I've no idea where she got it from. She just knew I liked yarn and I got this. So I'm not going to say no. And this is in the shade 2430. It looks like it's a self-striping yarn. So it's a 75% merino wool, 25% nylon. So that's another pair I'm going to be knitting up. And the other one I'm going to do, oh, it's in my lovely Ollie and Bella bag. I think she's going to be making some more bags soon, so keep your eyes out. But this was one I got in her, I think she did like a Halloweeny autumn update. So that's my Ollie and Bella bag from Cherie. And this yarn is from Blue Fern Yarns from lovely Shannon. And this is in the colour Watermelon. And it's a 75/25 superwash merino nylon. And it really is watermelon, isn't it? Look at that. That's proper watermelon. And to me, that's summer. So these are definitely going to be a pair of summer sock camp socks. I think I've seen Shannon knit this up before. I think she might still sell it, but it definitely micro stripes with the red and the green. So excited to knit these up. These are going to be beautiful socks. And I thought for these ones, I'm going slightly off my beaten track. So I knit all my socks on 2.5mm, all my 4-ply socks on 2.5mm DPNs, but I've either my gauge is slightly loosened up or I'm just not, or my feet have shrunk. I don't know. My socks are ever so slightly looser than they used to be. So I've got some 2.25 DPNs to try. And I thought I'd knit the watermelon socks up in the 2.25s and just see how they fit differently to my 2.5s. Oh, these are so tiny. I don't think I've ever knitted on something so tiny before. And I might do a pattern for these, because I think if I'm going to knit on really tiny needles, I think I need something to keep my brain going. I might just do a, what's it called? Broken rib. I think I might just do a broken rib. So something just to keep my brain going. But yes. So that's my 2 other sock whips that I've got planned. I also have a big bag of yarn that I bought last year to make a cardigan. I can't remember what cardigan I was going to make, but I didn't like the gauge that this yarn gave me. It was just so stiff, and I thought it's not going to be comfortable to wear. But this is basically Drops Big Merino, and in black. It says colour 04, but it was black on the internet. And this is just 100%, yeah, just 100% merino. And it's is it Aran weight? I think it's Aran weight. So I think because it's summer and it'll be easier to see to knit in this, and I've got quite a few balls. I think I bought I've got a whole bag. I've got a whole bag of this stuff. I've got, yeah, lots and lots of balls of this. I think I might make the Felix cardigan because that's an Aran weight. And I still want a black cardigan for work really in the winter. So I think I'm going to have a go at the Felix cardigan and download that pattern and cast that one on soon. I've not knitted a cardigan before just because I'm not a huge fan of purling. I'm an English style knitter, so, and I'm a thrower. So I take my hands when I knit. I'm trying to see if I've got something I can show you. When I knit, I take my hands completely off the needle, and then when I purl, where's the other needle gone? There it is. I'm knitting these on straights, and I'm knitting these on 3mm needles, my jelly roll. And when I knit, let's see if I can show you. Hang on, my yarn's all tangled, wound around, blah blah blah. So I put my needle in, I take my hand off my other needle, and I hold it literally with my thumb and finger on this one. I take my hand off, I wrap it, and then knit, and then I tighten it again. I basically tighten this with this thing and thumb, and I don't tighten it in this hand at all. I literally just hold it, wrap it round, and the way I tighten is on the next stitch. So I would tighten before I wrap. So when I take my, so that's how I get my, so I've got quite a tight gauge. I don't tighten, my gauge isn't determined, my tension, that's the word I'm looking for. My tension isn't determined by wrapping it around my hand. My tension is determined by how much I pull it. So when I take my, so I have to take my hand off my needle to give it a good tug before I get the next one round. And then I knit and pull. When I purl, let me just finish that stitch. When I purl, it's the same. So, but I bring it in, but I have to, so my yarn's in the front. I don't know if you can see this at all because the camera is completely the wrong way. And I put my needle in the back of my yarn like you would to purl, and then I take my hand off and purl it round. But something about the movement of purling, that's my fingers. You probably couldn't see any of that, but you get the gist of how I sort of take my hand off my needle. And so, and it's quite, I can do it quite quickly and it's quite fluid, but purling not so much. But hey ho, I want a cardigan, so I'm gonna have to do it, aren't I? Yes, I think that's all the knitting content. Thank you if you've stayed this long. If you've liked the content, then please like and subscribe. I'd like to get my numbers up. It would be really good to sort of share this content with more people, and it would obviously help my channel grow if you liked and subscribed and talked about it with your friends. Yeah, so life stuff, not an awful lot. It's been a busy half term at work. I work in a secondary school. I'm the office manager, so I do a lot of HR. And it's been really busy with recruitment and stuff like that. It always is in the summer term. And it's half term now. So yeah, yesterday my husband took my kids away for 3 nights. So it's just a sense of freedom. I popped to the supermarket last night and sort of bought like a single person's sort of weekend shop. So got some enchiladas and a couple of mini trifles, little block of cheese, and just, I don't know, just stuff just for me. So today I'm doing this podcast and some knitting and catching up on all the sort of household chores that need to be done. And then tomorrow is a day free for me to chill out. Yeah, watch some, I like watching quite a lot of sports. So there's some rugby on this afternoon, and tomorrow there's lots of football on the telly, so I'll be watching that. And then they're back either Monday evening or Tuesday morning. He hasn't decided yet. So I've still got most of Monday. And then Tuesday of half term, I'm meeting Cherie from Ollie and Bella, and we're going out for dinner and to have a catch up and maybe knit our socks while we're there. And then Wednesday, my 2 youngest daughters, so I've got 3 daughters, aged 15, 9 and 8. The 2 youngest daughters are going on a trip to the zoo with the brownies on Wednesday, so I'm taking my eldest shopping. She wants a bikini and a short dress. So the level of shortness will depend on how much I pay and how much she pays. You know, I'm still a parent. I've still got to try and like make sure it covers her bum. And then the following weekend, my 2 youngest are going on a 2-night brownie camp. They are going to die at school next week. They are going to be so tired, but they're camping Friday night, Saturday night, and are back Sunday. My daughter's with her friends all weekend, a house party at her friend's nan's house. So I feel like, you know, it's not a wild party. So she's at a house party. So my husband and I are gonna go out somewhere for the day. Haven't decided yet. We might head down into the lower depths of Cornwall to somewhere like St Ives, or we might head up into Bath or down to Swanage. I don't know. Where do you think we should go? I'm based in Plymouth in the south of Devon, so I'd like to keep it within a 2-hour radius of where we live, but I just fancy going somewhere for the day. We'll grab some lunch, go for a long walk. No requirement to be back before, you know, we've got no kids to be back for and nothing early to get up for on the Sunday morning. So yeah, where would you recommend we go for the day? Let me know your suggestions if you're down this way and you know. And if there's a yarn shop nearby, you get extra bonus points. I can drag on. I know there's one in Falmouth, and we've thought about Falmouth, but we've been there quite a few times. But it's still on the list. Still on the list. And that's about it, really. So thank you so much for if you've come back and watching this, or if you're a new subscriber or a new viewer, hello and welcome. I should have done all of that at the beginning. I'll put all the details below, links where possible to patterns, and hopefully, so we've got a week of half term, then there's 7 more weeks of school, then it's the summer holidays, and my husband will be taking my kids camping for a weekend with a friend of his and their children, so hopefully there'll be a podcast then. So it'll probably be 7 or 8 weeks till the next one, but there should be plenty of finished socks by then, and hopefully a finished cardigan. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, Thank you for watching, and see you again soon. Bye.